Razabani for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to have with me, face to face, finally, after our first Zoom interview a couple of months ago, my man, New York's finest, Khalil Coe. Khalil, Jersey City. New York, it's the same thing. It's like on the border.
Nah, we close, but we two different people.
How are we doing, Khalil?
I'm good, man. I'm honored that you had me here, man. For real.
No, it's good to finally meet you in the flesh as well. How's the last few months you've been? I know you were out earlier this year, in the middle of the year, but how the last few months been since?
It's been great. You know, I just been focused in the gym, you know, and trying to become a better fighter and make up for all the lost time. You know, I'm trying to build off of the first fight and keep going up.
I know we spoke about and we touched on this in our last interview, but your journey into boxing that saved you from, obviously we know what happens on the streets, especially in Jersey, in New York, in Brooklyn, in these kind of places. When you look back or where you are now, you're going to be at in a beautiful stadium on this Saturday night. Mikey Garcia's going to be topping the bill, the 4 division world champion. You're going to be on the undercard fighting, progressing your career. When you in hindsight, when you sit down and think, you're like, what could have been, where you could have been and where you are now?
I think of that every day, you know, and that's one of the reasons why I push myself, you know, because at any moment it could be taken away from you, you know. So it's like I could be a could have been. We ride past people like that all the time where I'm from. Oh, my father was in a car. Oh, that guy, he could have been the best basketball player in Jersey City, you know. He could have been. He was one of the best lightweights in the state. You know, what could have been or he should have been. I never want to be one of those guys. You know, I never want to have someone ride past me somewhere and be like, oh man, that guy Khalil, he used to be on the USA team. He used to be this or he could have did this. But you know, I wanna leave my mark and my legacy. And I want people to remember me forever. You know, you're never gonna be able to take my name. I don't want people to be ever to be able to take my name out of the record books. You know, and be there forever.
When you take on this path in boxing, you get more fame. People start to recognize you. You get more money in your pocket. You start having more materialistic things. Do you have to be careful about how you conduct yourself? Because there's a generation behind you that's growing up. I know the USA gun crime is crazy. Where I'm from, London, knife crime is crazy because we don't really have too many guns in the UK. But do you look at, yes, I know I'm becoming successful. Yes, I know I'm becoming famous and people are knowing who I am and where I've come from. But also keep yourself humble at all times because that next generation is looking up to you.
Definitely. You want to set the tone and leave the blueprint, you know. You want to be what you call it, a stencil, you know. So now they're looking up to you. You want to... People don't realize they have an effect, you know, on what comes behind you. You know, you might not ask to be a role model, but it is what it is. You know, that's when you chose to do what you do and have that platform and that power. You have to worry about what people see of you, the children that's looking up to you, and how they're gonna copy you. So you have to be careful of what you do, and not to say that you can't have nice things and stuff like that, but it's more important things than just having materialistic things, you know. The happiness, making sure your family is happy and you're blessed, you know. And like I said, just make sure that you're giving them something great to copy after, you know. Don't just, oh, I want to have the chains and I want to, nah, it's more important stuff than that, you know. It's okay to have it look cool, you know, but it's more important. What's more important, really?
No, absolutely. If you look at the kind of state of boxing in America, you've got kind of, it's probably dominated more by, when I talk about American black fighters, the kind of the welterweight division, the Errol Spencer, the Terrell Crawford, the Sean Porters, etc., etc. You know, they're eventually going to go one day. They're going to get older, etc. Do you feel like, you know, you got Nikita here on the undercard as well, but do you feel like you're that next generation and you're trying to achieve greatness just like some of those fighters?
Most definitely. You know, Nikita as well. We've been on the team together. We've witnessed each other do a lot of things, you know, inside the ring, outside of the ring, you know. So we have a strong bond as well. And we used to say this all the time. We consider ourselves the best amateurs in a long time, you know. Even the USA team, we feel as though that we were the best USA team in a long time, you know. Me, Keyshawn Davis, Nikita, Troy Isley, Jared Anderson. He just had an amazing victory, you know. Like we pushed each other, and we're gonna one day people are gonna be sitting in the same seat talking about what you just said, you know, about me. How do you feel to be on the undercard of Khalil Coe, you know, and however they feel, you know. But that's the goal that we're reaching for, and we're trying to make it to.
Why Eddie Hearn and Matchroom? Now, you've got established promoters here in America. You know, Al Heyman's been here for a very long time. We've seen what he's done with people like Floyd Mayweather, Deontay Wilder, the Charlos, Spencers, etc., etc. Bob Arum, a legend in the sport himself. Oscar De La Hoya as well has been a great promoter here. You got Eddie Hearn, who's come from a small place called Essex into America, has done extremely well at the time that he's been here. But why Eddie Hearn out of all the choices you had in America?
There was a time, like I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned to you before, I was leaning toward Top Rank, you know. But everything, it wasn't coming together, you know. The puzzle pieces wasn't fitting together well enough for me, you know. So when Eddie came into the picture, it was like something me and my friends had already talked about before, not knowing that it would actually happen, you know. So when it happened, I was like, wow, who would have thought? Like, we actually were sitting and talking about it. Like, then on top of that, I have other friends that's boxers that's with him, you know, Raymond Ford, even Keyshawn fought on the card, you know. Nikita, there's Rashad. There's a lot of guys that I'm cool with and close with that are on. So why not, you know? Why not go with my guys?
And that was kind of your main reason. You saw the current crop of up-and-coming fighters all go into Eddie, and you thought, well, if they trust him and they think he could do a good job, why not?
Definitely. I'm a Keyshawn Davis. I spoke to him a lot, you know. I'm older than him, but he's knowledgeable about the fight game, you know. How would you say? I respect his opinion, you know. So me and him, we spoke on a lot of different occasions, and he gave me multiple reasons on why I should be here, you know, other than anywhere else, you know. And I respect his opinion, and I went with it, you know. Him on top of other people, my coach, my father, my friends. My mom doesn't know about boxing, but she just was like, yeah, just do it. But you know, it was just all of the fingers were pointing at Eddie.
And with that comes with, I think your debut was on the Devin Haney-Linares fight in Las Vegas. And I remember speaking to you, you were super excited. You've never been to Cali before. We're in Fresno here on a Mikey Garcia 4-division world champion on his undercard. So these are the kind of the perks you get when you fight with or align yourself with someone like Matchroom and Eddie Hearn.
It showed immediately with the pro debut. Like, there's a lot of people who've been fighting and still haven't got to a stage like that, you know. So for me to fight on that, on my debut, not only was I wasn't even on the undercard, I was on the main card, you know. So it was like I was on TV. My family, the people who couldn't make it out, got to see me. It was like it was overall like a crazy feeling that I would never forget, and I'm highly thankful for that.
175 was the division on your debut. 175 this Saturday. But where's the future for Khalil? 168, 175.
168, most definitely. I'm shooting for the next one. Will probably be at 168.
It's a very talked about division. Obviously, all the belts are with two fighters: Canelo, Caleb Plant. One of them is going to become the undisputed champion, the first ever in history. When you see stuff like that, that just make you more hungry and say, that's what I want to achieve. Canelo is a multi-millionaire. I watched one of his documentaries and he was talking about how he's making £2 or £3 million a month just coming in through outside investment. But when you see the the desire and hunger that someone like Canelo has. He's got everything, but yet he still wants greatness and create his legacy.
Because it's more than it's not about the money, you know. It's about the legacy. Like you said, he want people to. He's not where he wants to be with his legacy yet. You know, he wants to put undisputed on his resume. You know, there's accolades that you want besides the money. You know, that they remember you for. You know, like for one of my accolades is the Cuban, the guy that they'll remember that forever. You know, and I want to keep building and getting more of those moments, those unforgettable moments that'll go down in history.
What we're going to see on Saturday night, Aaron Casper, I think he's 4 losses, 6 wins or something like that, but is it a statement? I just want to go out there and make a statement.
Most definitely a statement. I'm gonna put on the show, you know. I can't give out the recipe, but I'm definitely gonna do my thing, you know. I'm gonna bring something different than the table from the pro fight.
What's the
pro debut? I mean,
what's the ring walk music?
It's a special one, you know. My brother's gonna be performing for one of my friends that got murdered. So this one is for him.
Khalil, before I let you go, we just witnessed Saturday night a fantastic heavyweight fight between America's Deontay Wilder and UK's Tyson Fury. Listen, both men at the end won in different ways. They both showed great heart. Obviously, Fury, without doubt, is now regarded as the best heavyweight right now. But is that what we need to see more of? We need to see less promoter and politic rivalries, and let Gervonta fight Tio and Devin and Ryan. You know, let Crawford fight the Spencers. I know Crawford's fighting Porter, but let these big fights happen. Forget the marination. Let them happen when they need to happen.
Yeah, if they want to fight, then let them fight. Because either way, you know, people know when they build their resume, they know what the fight is capable of becoming, you know. So the build-up is unnecessary. Just let them fight, you know. And that fight was amazing, you know. I knew what the outcome would be, you know. He did better than I expected this time, you know. He went out on his shield. He didn't make any excuses, and hopefully he learned from it, you know. And it's things like that make you see. It makes you love the sport, you know. Like they respect each other, you know. And what more can after 12 rounds of beating on each other, you get up and shake hands and do things like that. What's better than that?
Absolutely. Khalil, we wish you all the best on Saturday night. Enjoy the week, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you after your win.
Definitely, most definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me.
Khalil Coe for IFL TV, thank you very much.